World War II, spanning from 1939 to 1945, was one of the most devastating conflicts in human history. It reshaped borders, economies, and societies, fundamentally changing the global order. Germany's invasion of Poland in 1939 marked the start of aggressive expansions by the Axis powers. Hitler's blitzkrieg tactics led to rapid conquests, including Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. Paris fell in June 1940, leading to a swift French surrender. The Dunkirk evacuation, known as Operation Dynamo, rescued 338,000 Allied soldiers. Despite the evacuation, Britain stood alone against the Axis powers. Winston Churchill's speeches rallied the British people for the coming Battle of Britain. The early war demonstrated German military effectiveness, but also Allied resilience. It became clear this would be a prolonged battle for survival and freedom. The Battle of Britain from July to October 1940 was the first major military campaign fought entirely by air forces. The German Luftwaffe aimed to destroy Britain's Royal Air Force, RAF, for a planned invasion. Despite being outnumbered, the RAF used effective tactics and radar technology to fend off attacks. The Blitz, a sustained bombing of British cities, aimed to break morale but failed. Iconic aircraft like the Spitfire and Hurricane, flown by the few, were crucial in defense. The victory prevented a German invasion and boosted Allied morale. It marked the first significant check on Hitler's ambitions. The battle underscored the importance of air power and resilience. The Siege of Leningrad from September 1941 to January 1944 was one of the longest and most brutal sieges in history. German and Finnish forces aimed to capture Leningrad, but the Red Army and residents mounted a fierce defense. Hitler's strategy was to starve the city into submission, leading to widespread famine. Despite dire conditions, residents established supply routes across frozen Lake Ladoga. Dmitri Shostakovich's Seventh Symphony, written during the siege, became a symbol of resistance. The siege's end in January 1944 marked a turning point on the Eastern Front. The Soviet victory boosted morale and demonstrated growing strength. It marked the beginning of Soviet offensives leading to Berlin. The siege highlighted the human spirit's resilience in adversity. The Battle of Stalingrad from August 1942 to February 1943 was one of the deadliest and most decisive battles of World War II. It was a brutal confrontation that changed the course of history. Stalingrad, a key industrial city on the Volga River, was a strategic target for the German Wehrmacht. Capturing it would cut Soviet transport links and secure oil fields. The battle began with a massive German offensive, leading to brutal urban warfare. The city turned into a battlefield with fierce street fighting and house-to-house combat. Operation Uranus, a Soviet counter-offensive launched in November 1942, encircled the German Sixth Army. This maneuver trapped the Germans in a deadly vice. Despite dire conditions, including starvation and freezing temperatures, Hitler ordered the Sixth Army to hold their position, refusing any retreat. The harsh winter and relentless Soviet attacks led to the German surrender in February 1943. The once mighty German forces were decimated. The defeat was a catastrophic blow to Hitler's ambitions, shattering the myth of Nazi invincibility and demoralizing the German army. For the Soviets, it was a symbol of resilience and a major morale boost. The victory at Stalingrad became a rallying point for Soviet forces. The battle underscored the importance of logistics, strategic planning, and the indomitable human spirit in warfare. It highlighted the critical role of supply lines and tactical ingenuity. Stalingrad marked a significant turning point in the war. The victory not only boosted Soviet confidence, but also marked the beginning of the German retreat on the Eastern Front. The Battle of Midway, from June 4th to June 7th, 1942, was a pivotal naval battle in the Pacific Theater. It marked a turning point in the conflict between the United States and Japan. American codebreakers anticipated the Japanese attack on Midway Atoll. The battle began with a Japanese air assault, followed by an American counterattack. American dive bombers sank 4 Japanese carriers, a severe blow to the Japanese Navy. The victory halted Japanese expansion and shifted the strategic initiative to the United States. The battle highlighted the effectiveness of carrier-based warfare. It was a significant morale boost for the United States. The lessons learned shaped naval strategies for the remainder of the war. Midway demonstrated the importance of intelligence, surprise, and tactical innovation. Operation Overlord, or D-Day, on June 6, 1944, was one of the largest amphibious invasions in history. The invasion targeted the Normandy coast of France, with 5 designated beaches. Extensive deception operations misled the Germans about the invasion's location. On June 6th, thousands of Allied troops stormed the beaches under intense fire. Despite challenges, the Allies secured all 5 beachheads by the end of the day. D-Day marked the beginning of the end for Nazi Germany. The operation demonstrated Allied strength and unity. It paved the way for further offensives, leading to the liberation of Paris and the defeat of Nazi Germany. The Battle of the Bulge, from December 1944 to January 1945, was the last major German offensive on the Western Front. The battle took place in the Ardennes region and aimed to split the Allied forces. The initial German gains created a bulge in the Allied front lines. The defense of Bastogne by the 101st Airborne Division was a key episode. The Allies regrouped and launched a counter-offensive, pushing back the Germans. The battle marked the last major attempt by Nazi Germany to alter the war's course. The failure depleted German resources and hastened the Allied advance into Germany. The fall of Berlin in April and May 1945 was the final major offensive of the European theater. The Soviet Union led the assault on Berlin, aiming to end Nazi rule. The battle saw intense urban combat and significant civilian casualties. Soviet forces under Marshal Zhukov converged on Berlin from multiple directions. Despite fierce resistance, the Soviets advanced into the city. Hitler committed suicide on April 30, 1945. And Berlin surrendered on May 2nd. Victory in Europe, WWII Day, was celebrated on May 8th, marking the war's end in Europe. The fall of Berlin signaled the end of a brutal war and set the stage for the Cold War. World War II is filled with fascinating anecdotes and lesser-known facts that continue to intrigue historians and enthusiasts alike. The British used a secret weapon called Window, which consisted of strips of aluminum foil to confuse German radar during the Battle of Britain. This simple yet ingenious tactic played a crucial role in the defense of Britain. The Ghost Army, a US tactical deception unit, used inflatable tanks, fake radio transmissions, and even sound effects to mislead German forces. Their creativity and resourcefulness saved countless lives and contributed significantly to the Allied war effort. Animals played notable roles in the war, including Wojtek, a bear adopted by Polish troops who helped carry ammunition. Wojtek became a symbol of resilience and camaraderie among the soldiers. Women played crucial roles, such as the Night Witches, an all-female Soviet bomber regiment. These brave women flew night missions in outdated planes, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. On the home front, women kept the war effort running in factories, farms, and offices. Their hard work and determination ensured that the military had the supplies and support needed to continue fighting. These stories highlight the war's multifaceted nature and human ingenuity. From secret operations to everyday acts of bravery, each contribution was vital to the overall success. They remind us that the war was not just about battles, but also about the people who contributed to the Allied victory. Every individual, regardless of their role, played a part in shaping the outcome. These lesser-known aspects enrich our understanding of the conflict, offering a more comprehensive view of the war's impact on the world. They underscore the complexity and human dimension of World War II, reminding us of the sacrifices made and the enduring legacy of those who lived through it. The legacy of World War II is profound and far-reaching, affecting nearly every aspect of modern life. The war reshaped the global order, leading to the emergence of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers, setting the stage for a new era of geopolitical tension. The ideological conflict between these nations, known as the Cold War, defined the second half of the 20th century, influencing global politics, economics, and military strategies. The war led to significant advancements in technology and medicine, including the development of radar, antibiotics, and jet engines, which have had lasting impacts on civilian life. The human cost was staggering, with over 70 million lives lost, countless others injured, and millions displaced from their homes. The Holocaust remains one of the darkest chapters in human history, a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the importance of vigilance against hatred. The war's aftermath saw the establishment of the United Nations, an international body aimed at preventing future conflicts and fostering global cooperation. The rebuilding efforts required extensive international cooperation, exemplified by initiatives like the Marshall Plan, which helped to revive war-torn economies. World War II's impact on society, politics, and culture continues to be felt today, influencing movements for civil rights, decolonization, and social change. The stories of bravery, sacrifice, and resilience continue to inspire and remind us of the human capacity for both destruction and redemption, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not forgotten.